He reminds me of one of these guys, or actually one of my cousins, who is really homophobic, thanks to his membership at this Pentecostalist church. I don't know what it is, but it's like one of those creepy, really Christy churches, but it's Pentecostalist. And they're pretty extreme, by the way, these guys. I mean, they really hate gay people. Uh, but a while ago, I ended that kind of tension between him and I. Now he talks to me pretty okay. He's not really talking about my lifestyle anymore. I mean, that's what he said all the time. And the way that I shut him up was I actually confronted his hypocrisy on many levels. First of all, it was the level that he had many out of wedlock children. He had about 4 wives. 2 of them he is still married to because they're in different states, or I don't know. Oh no, one in Mexico and one here in America. So basically, he's a polygamist, and he's breaking the law, and he is breaking biblical law. Well, not really, because the Bible actually permits polygamy. Never mind. But I did point that out, and he was like a deer caught in headlights. I mean, he didn't know what to say about that. And then the other thing that I pointed out was that he was the one that kept asking me about my life. Until finally my mother said, you know what? Leave my son fucking alone. Jesus. This is the guy that kept asking me when I was 21. This is the guy, and I'm not going to say his name because I want to save him the embarrassment. But he was being a lousy fuck. He was. And he was embarrassing, basically. And never mind that he's not attracted at all. He's fucking ugly. And he blinks like 1,000 miles per minute. That guy blinks like hell. Jose. Jose. Oh. I never met a guy like that who blinked. His eyes kept blinking like every 5 seconds. Oh, actually every second. Yeah, it was every second. His eyes kept blinking. His brother has the same thing. I don't know why their family has that trait. It's not really attractive, by the way. But he kept pestering me about when are you going to get married? When are you going to give your dad some grandchildren? And my dad wasn't even pestering me. My dad, God bless us all, he's still alive. My father has never, to this day, pestered me about my sexuality. He's never been like, oh, I don't have any grandkids. Oh, I want, he probably doesn't even want grandkids. We already have 2 of them, and believe me, that's already a handful. Okay? And my father never complained. He never said, oh, I want you to have, when are you going to get married to a woman or anything like that. But this is his cousin, who was basically, we had an on and off kind of relationship with this guy because he was either in jail. That's where he got really religious, right? I don't know what happened in that jailhouse, but he was in San Quentin. I think he was ass raped, and that's when he was like, oh no, he converted. He said, oh no. I don't think he got ass raped. I don't think anybody will touch this freak. Fucking him while his eyes are blinking every second. Oh. And our relationship wasn't that good, and to this day wasn't that. It's not. It's actually on the rocks. It's really worse. But he made it that way because he kept pestering me about my life. When was I gonna get married? Why am I not dating girls if I had a girlfriend? And one time he picked me up from school. I think this was when I was actually this was in junior high school, and he put his arm around me. Right, I thought he was gonna molest me when I was when he was doing that, and then he said, "Oh, hey, Jose, you know, where's your girlfriend and all that?" I'm like, wait. You know, first of all, I have a boyfriend. Well, actually, we weren't really boyfriends. We were really close friends, and but we did stuff together. So you know, it wasn't a big thing. You know, because back then I was, you know, a little kid. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know that you had to give oral sex and all that. But no, he kept pestering me like, so when are you gonna have a girlfriend? You know, because I want to see you. This is what he told me when he picked me up from school. I want to see you with a girlfriend. You know, so when you're walking down the street holding her hand, I can say, look, that's my cousin. I'm like, what the fuck? Why would you want to? I mean, is he trying to live vicariously through me? I mean, what the fuck? He failed in everything in his life, and he did. He failed on every girl he's ever had. Every woman, except for the current one. I don't know what the current one is not that happy with him either. I don't know what's gonna happen with that shit. But then, every woman he's ever had, they've always ended up in divorce or separation. Or they actually never got married until, well, actually he got married twice, and those were the two marriages he's never dissolved or got divorced from. That's why he's practicing polygamy right now. So throughout my young life, and I brought it up, hey, remember that ride from school that you gave me, that you were pestering me about, that, you know, having a girlfriend and all that shit? And then he kept pestering me throughout my college years. He will call me, he will call my mom, and then he'll say, okay, let me talk to Jose. And he wanted to talk to me until finally he found out about my sexuality. Then he told my dad that he wanted to speak to me. He wanted to speak to me alone. My dad's like, I don't know if you want to do that. My dad didn't want any problems. Basically, he was just, you know, live and let live. You know, that's how it is. I don't really care. I mean, my dad's the last person in the world to care about any of this shit. I mean, he's very political, but at the same time, he's not into me. I mean, me and my father, we've always been kind of distant a little bit, but it's not to the extreme that he's not here. I mean, he is here. I mean, he's always been here with me. He's always been here. He's like a shadow cast upon me. Okay, so it's not like I feel alone. No, I don't. I've always had my father by my side, always, and he always supported what I always did, and that's the good thing about my father. But then my mother picked up the phone, and he wanted to speak to me. Well, first he spoke to her, then he wanted to speak to me, saying, you know, oh, I want to speak to Jose because I want to speak to him about something. And he's like, Mama's like, well, about what? And she's like, well, you know, he's like, I have heard things about him that, you know, that he shouldn't be doing, and he's this is what he said. He's disappointing his father. Basically disappointing my dad. And my dad has never been disappointed on me. I'm not gonna say it, but he's been disappointed on many other things, and I know when he's disappointed. But he's not disappointed at all. I can tell. Maybe at first, the first few couple of weeks when he found out, he was a little bit confused, but he never told me anything. He never verbally expressed anything to me. Nothing. And yet I had this cousin of mine who is off and on visiting me, who calls every now and then. You know, he's not really there with the family all the time. He's not like my second shadow upon me, or he raised me. No, he didn't raise me. My father and my mother raised me. Oh, but he had every right to fucking tell me what to do, right? So then my mother said, you know, I'm not going to say his name. You know, just shut up. That's what he told her. I mean, she told him. I'm sorry. My dyslexia is coming in right now. She basically hung up the phone, and that was it. And she didn't tell me about this until 2 years later, because I wanted to speak to him about something else that was totally unrelated. And she said, well, maybe you shouldn't talk to him anymore. And I said, why? And now she finally told me. That was like 5 years ago. She told me about this, that he wanted to talk to me about my homosexuality. And after that, when I came over to Phoenix, Arizona, where I live now, I will always bring it up, but not all the time. I'll talk about my boyfriends and all this shit. Until finally, I don't know what happened, but he sent out an email or a Facebook message. I don't know what it was, but it was something like an email he sent to my other cousins and relatives saying how he was totally distressed or something like that. That he was really upset because I was basically shoving my lifestyle down his throat. Now, this is the guy, okay, first of all, this is the guy that kept shoving his lifestyle upon me for many, many years. His promiscuous heterosexual lifestyle. And he was very promiscuous, by the way. And I don't know how he found the girls to do that. He's fucking ugly. And with that blinking, I mean, what? Not even if I was drunk, I would do that shit. To be honest with you. And I have many attractive cousins. I have really gorgeous cousins. I have both female and male. And the males, I have some cousins that they're fucking cute. And then that's about, like, I will say about 20% of my relatives. And the other 80%, they're either whatever, or God, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. So, but this guy, he had the audacity to tell everybody behind my back that I was shoving down his throat my lifestyle. Even though he's the one that always pestered me. When was I gonna get married? When was I gonna get married? Do I have a girlfriend? And every time he came to my house when I was younger, he would be like, so where's the girlfriend? I'm like, what the leave me the fuck alone. I never go to your house and say, well, where's your 15th wife? Fucking polygamist. I mean, no, I don't go do that, but he's doing that to me. And I was really pissed off when I heard about that. So what I did is one of my cousins told me about it, so I went to his house. I drove to his house and said, hey, you know what? I want to talk to you. Stop talking shit about me behind my back. Number one, you are completely hypocritical because you're the one that went to my house in California when I was a little kid. And you kept pestering me about dating girls and fucking girls and marrying girls. I don't want to do that shit. And you were the one that were shoving down my throat your lifestyle, which of course my mother says is hideous. Because if we're going to talk about lifestyles here, what about your lifestyle? And I pointed it out. Your lifestyle is miserable, man. I mean, you're dating girls behind your wife's back and you're cheating on her, and then you have kids with another girl and marrying a girl in Mexico, then coming back and marrying another woman. And what the fuck is that? All he could do is look down because he knew that I caught him. He knew what I was talking about. And since that day, that was about 2 years ago. Since that day, he shut up about it. And that's the way I speak up. And the way I speak up is not about LGBT rights or anything like that. It's about respect. And it's about people respecting your boundaries. If he's saying that you're trespassing boundaries just because you're talking about your personal experiences, and you're not even like, I'm not even going out there with my cousin and say, hey, you should try this. Hey, you should go and fuck a guy or something. You should go to the gay club and suck a dick. Am I saying that? You straight people, you heterosexuals need to kind of put this into perspective here. Are we actually going door to door? Are we actually telling you people to go suck a dick or to get a dick up your ass? Start dating guys and see how you like it. Maybe you like it. No, we don't do that because it's none of our business. But then you're the ones telling us, oh, we should get married to the opposite sex. We should fuck pussy. We should do. I mean, what the fuck's your problem? And of course, my cousin told me, he said that he thought that I was confused, that if I only just give a girl a try, and he had a girl in mind for me, all this shit. Like, what girl is this? And then finally he showed me a picture of the girl. Oh my god, she was hideous. I would rather fuck my cousin right there. I'd rather fuck him than her. She was hideous. She was fat too. And she had a big nose, by the way. Just to top it off. Like the cherry on top was the big nose that really gave it away. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You're telling me to go fuck this woman? What is this, a fucking joke? I was really thinking that this was a joke. But no, he was being serious about this shit. What the fuck's your problem, man? And that's when I left. I left angry that day. And he knew about it. And he later apologized. He tried to talk to my dad. He said, oh, tell Jose I'm sorry that I didn't mean to. My dad's like, no, you're going to have to tell him yourself. See, my dad's smart. He knows that when I get pissed off at somebody, you have to tell me that you're sorry. Because I can go on and on about his lifestyle. And about his religion, by the way. Oh, that church I was caught embezzling, all that. Yeah. I know all about that shit. My dear cousin. But he stopped bothering me, though. And he stopped with all that shit. And then the other day I saw him. He was being, very cool about it. Saw him at the supermarket. Oh, Jose, how are you? So, all my other cousins don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Some of them are actually fascinated by it. I don't know what that's about. They're really fascinated about it. They always ask me questions. Oh, so you're the one that takes it up the ass? Or how does it feel like? Does it hurt when you take it up the ass? Do you swallow? I mean, all the shit that they ask me, what the fuck? It's kind of creepy in a way. And they always ask me when they're drunk, and I can see some of them even grabbing their cocks while they're asking me, like, "Oh no, this is not really going well. This is really crossing the line a little bit." Now, would I do my cousins? No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would, because it would bring a lot of tension, especially with my parents. My parents are very my parents have been through a lot of shit like that. I mean, a lot of heterosexual incest within their families, and if I were to do something like that, I think I would really disappoint them, and I think they would be. So that's the line I will not cross. And there's a cousin of mine, oh my god, he's gorgeous, but I can't do anything about it. I have to leave it alone. And he flirts with me all the time. But he's a little younger. He has a kid already, but he had a girlfriend and broke up with her, and he's living the wild side and all that. Comes around to my house sometimes. He's really nice. He's the nicest one, and then the cutest one. But what can I do? Nothing about it, because and I wouldn't feel comfortable either. I just wouldn't feel. And of course, there's a difference between heterosexual incest and this type of incest. Yeah, definitely. Because heterosexual incest is more destructive, in my opinion. And but I talked to one of my friends about this, and he said, "Oh, Jose, do it. Go seduce him." And I'm not gonna do that. I have my boundaries, and I have them. And I met other guys, gay guys, who say, "Oh yeah, I fucked my cousin or whatever," and I just can't do that. It's because maybe the way I was raised. I would feel very guilty if that happens. I would. But and he's not really. I mean, that cousin I'm talking about, the one that I find really attractive. He's not my first cousin. He's my what is it? I think he's my third cousin. So he's not really my uncle's kid. I haven't seen my uncle's kids. In fact, I haven't seen my first cousins in over 10 years. So the cousins I'm talking about are not really my first cousins. They're either my second or third cousins. They're children of my dad's cousin or my dad's uncle or something like that. So it's like they're relatives still, right? And my family, though, my parents have this really religious view. Not religious. I would say a very... How can I put this? Well, I mean, they view the family as the most important unit. And I'm not talking about, mom and dad and kind of... I'm talking about the entire family. And even if you're third or fourth cousins or far down the family tree, doesn't matter. You're still family and you're still considered first cousin, So there's no way that you can deviate from that. And that's how I was raised. And always, when I was along with my female cousins, when my mom didn't know I was a homo, she would be like, hey, she's her cousin. Respect. And I couldn't understand why she had to tell me that all the time. But later I got to know why, because there was a little bit of an incest problem going on in our families. And and it happens all the time everywhere. But I'm just saying that I understand why she was trying to protect me. But the thing is, my female cousins, they were not at all attracted to me. And I was a homo, so I was like, what the fuck is she telling me this shit? So, I mean, not even playing around, I would do that stuff. And yes, he's my third. I don't know. Wait a minute. He is my... I don't know. He's probably my fourth cousin. He's really out there. He's far away from me. But I was raised to, to view him as my cousin. And I met him when he was like 2 years old and stuff like that. So it's like, keep it respectful, as I say. My parents always say that. So to be in the spirit of equality, I would say, look, if my mom was really worried that I would sleep around with my female cousins, I think I should translate that as saying as well, not to sleep with your male cousins or your male relatives. So, but at least all my cousins, except for like 2 or 3 of them out of like 300 of my cousins that I have here, they all respect me. They respect me. Most of them don't care that I'm a homo, and a lot of them are really fascinated by it. They ask me all these questions all the time, like, have I dated that guy yet? They asked me about my ex, because I had a huge, really bad breakup with my ex about 5 months ago. So they always ask me, how I am, if I feel better and all that. I'll survive. I'll make it through. There are other fish in the water. Why not? Alright, so that's what I can say about that. But if I'm shoving down my lifestyle down your throat, then you know what? Don't shove yours down mine. That's all I have to say about that, period. It's funny that people will say that. Oh no, the gays are shoving down their lifestyle down our throats. And then you're the ones who are knocking on doors trying to stop gay marriage. You're the ones that are doing these commercials and these ads attacking gay people. You're the ones that are out there in churches berating gay people, using the Bible, going on these anti-gay sermons. You're the ones that are doing this shit. You're the ones that are shoving this down your own throats. I mean, most of us gays are just like living our lives. We're moving on. And you're not. And you're the ones that are telling us to get married to the opposite sex, have children, and do all this. You know, I'll have children if I want to, and that's my decision. Maybe I will adopt someday, but not now. You know, leave me the fuck alone. But I did straighten that out, and I encourage others to do so as well. Look, and you don't have to be mean. Yeah, don't be mean. Don't be, you know, you don't even have to use curse words. I didn't even use any curse words with my cousin when I talked to him about this. I mean, he's in his 40s now, so it's like, understand this point, you know. And he did. He understood. And he really understood the bad decisions he made about me. And but I, you know, for sure I did not convince him that being gay wasn't sinful. I think that's what he believes. Although he came at it not from a religious point of view, he came at it like from like, don't say anything. You know, he just wanted me to be censored. The thing is, I never really talked to him about it. I never did. I never talked. But the thing is, what happened was, my other cousins were talking about, oh, Jose said this, and Jose's dating this guy, or Jose was blah blah blah. You know, of all the stories I told them about my past, they're fascinated. You know, they're totally into my stories about my escapades. So